Welcome aboard Freedom Link Radio, everybody. This is Joe Joseph alongside Gwen Caldwell. Gwen, how you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks, Joe.
Oh, fantastic. And I have to say, guys, there's a lot of stuff in the media today. Let's get started. The market goes up 428 points. And this is a day after it loses 639 points. So what does that tell you, Gwen?
Somebody's manipulating the market?
Who knows? Who the heck knows? It's like being bipolar. You know, the market's kind of being bipolar right now. It shows a lot of the same trends that the stock market showed prior to the crash of 1929, the Great Depression. And to be quite honest with you, I don't care because I have nothing in the stock market. I don't have anything of any value, and I can't lose anything if it crashes. Hooray.
Right. Yep.
Well, all those people out there that, they put their money into worthless things like paper and there's so many things that people buy, and it's such a wasteful thing. Well, I think we were talking about that before the show, Gwen, just about the wastefulness and the materialism that's just so pervasive in our society. And it's really taken over America. And God forbid there come a time when people can't sate their materialism, because there's going to be a real problem in America when that happens.
Yep. It's coming.
I know.
It's on the block.
You think
it'll
so?
Be knocking on, oh, yeah, and I think it'll be knocking on the door real soon.
Yeah. Now, folks, you guys see what's going on in London, and it's a terrible thing. That's not justice. When you're looting and stealing from people and burning their houses down and actually begging for this kind of martial law to be implemented, I'm sorry, that's not it at all. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. But what I can say is that people all over the world should be pissed off. And I'm not seeing it here, Gwen, at least not in America. Hell, Europe is rioting right now. What's wrong with this picture?
I am of the humble opinion that the only reason that we have not seen the kind of rioting and just utter outrage that we've seen in other countries is because we are an armed country. And I think somehow that has given people a false sense of security. And so they feel like they don't have to riot, they don't have to loot, because nobody's going to do anything to them because they're armed. So we're just going to sit here. And I think it really is a false sense of security that people have, because we're giving our power up in that sense, because we're not speaking out. Why do we let it get to the point where we are having to be in the streets or have to be demanding at the end of a rifle or a pitchfork or whatever, I mean, why aren't we taking steps now to do what needs to be done to ensure our safety, our longevity, that we're being listened to by our elected, illustrious public servants?
Do you think, Gwen, that we're going in that direction, though? Do you feel like there's progress being made in that direction? I mean, with the gains made by the Tea Party and the deal that got struck because those daggum Tea Party people, they sabotage things, and now the credit's compromised and everything. I mean, do you think that that we're making strides? Do you feel that way?
No.
I know the answer already. I was just playing with you. Of course we're not making enough strides. Holy moly.
The Tea Party, I found that very interesting, that the Tea Party, that the whole thing that happened with the downgrade was blamed on our politics and not our money management.
Yeah.
If there's anybody out there who believes that, take a sleeping pill and go back to bed. We don't need you for the revolution.
Well, no, if they believe that, then I think they are. They're unconscious, you know, and it's true because what do you do? The voting system ain't gonna work. When they get to Washington, they sing a different tune. Once they get there, they fall right in line. And don't get me wrong, not everybody did, and there was a lot of opposition to it. Some for the good reasons, some for not good reasons. But the fact remains that we spend 40 cents out of a dollar more than we bring in. So 40%. How do you sustain something like that? Even if the monetary system is a big Ponzi scheme or whatever, guess what? It's what we have to deal with right now. So knowing that, we can't sustain the level of spending let's see. Now, we pay taxes, right, Gwen? And here we are funding the government to spy on us, to invade our privacy, to do warrantless searches, to become our slave masters. We're funding this willfully. You guys don't understand. They're building underground bunkers all over the place and outfitting them in haste. We've got seed vaults and FEMA camps and all this stuff springing up everywhere. What the hell are they paying for with our tax dollars? What are they doing with the trillions of dollars they looted when the federal government said, oh, no, corporation, you're too big to fail? I got news for you. You know, Gwen, before it was news, has an article today, NASA hiding approaching doomsday space event. Really? You think? They've only been talking about this kind of stuff for a long time now. Now, is it Nibiru? Is it Elenin? Who the heck knows? All I could tell you is this. This Russian scientist, actually he's an astronomer, a very famous one, Alexei Dmitriev, claims what is happening is worse, much worse than NASA or the European Space Agency admits. And according to him, we're passing through a heavy, energized cloud of gas, or what Dr. Brooks Agnew refers to as the galactic plane. We're entering the galactic plane. The Mayans knew about it. I'm sure the Native Americans knew something about it. The Chinese knew about it. So what is going on, folks? Pull your heads out of your tuchuses. A lot of this stuff is distraction. Why? Because they've got their little bunker all taken care of. They got their seat to the show. You know, we're the fodder. We're the cannon fodder. This is it. All I can tell you is, folks, focus on the things right now that are important. Self and family, take care of yourself and forge relationships so that if you make it through what's coming, that you're able to sustain yourself and have some sort of plan afterwards. What do you think, Gwen?
Well, Joe, I think that we live in this illusionary world that is dictated to us by the lamestream media at the behest of the powers that be, and with the permission of the dark angels of Rome. And why do we buy into it? Why are we even investing energy in it? And we have really gotten away from the value system that we need to be worried about, which is, you know, we live in a supersized America. They supersized us deliberately as a means of diminishing our quality of life. They tell us what is successful, what is wealth. We don't get to determine that for ourselves. We don't get to make that decision.
That's right. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to Freedom Link Radio, everybody. Joe Joseph, Gwen Caldwell here. The call-in number is 888-320-6151. And the email address, thefreedomlink@centurylink.net. So before the break, we were just talking about preparedness. We were talking about, focus and where the focus should be. And the focus really, really, really needs to be on self and family at this point. And the reason why, Gwen, and I'm sure you agree, the people are for the most part, they're lost. The majority of them are lost. They've been brainwashed. Like my father-in-law, who still to this day insists that we're doing an awful thing by homeschooling our kids. And God forbid they don't go to public school. Oh, geez, it's as if public school was around for thousands of years and kids always went there and we were always going, we were always going to have kids for generations and millennia had USDA stamped on their children's ass as they were sent through the trough.
Right.
It's sickening. Sickening.
Well, we've been we've really forfeited. We forfeit our freedom. We forfeited our. We just willfully gave it up by not doing anything. Right. And I hear all the time, oh, it doesn't do any good to do that, and you can't do this, and you can't do that.
But it's got to start somewhere, Gwen.
It may not work. It may not be the answer. But by God, I am not going to sit around and, I may die standing up. I may die doing what I'm doing. But by God, I'm going to leave an example for my children that you stand up for what's right and you don't lay down and take it. And I don't ever want them to come back at me and say, how come you didn't do something to help us? How come you didn't do something to stop it? By God, I can say with a clear conscience, I did everything I could to stop it.
No, absolutely right. And you have fought tremendously for that and done a ton of research into this. And, one of the things that my observation, and I've told you this before, is that, the force that you're up against when you have to go into the wolves, the den of wolves, and go up against them and actually file paperwork in their system, in this corrupt beast system that's there. And you're pretty much it's like David and Goliath, and all I can say is David won. And it's all it takes is that lightning in a bottle, that moment, when you achieve victory or whatever, it's going to be something unlike, all of a sudden, boom, people just rush to it. Because right now, when you talk about sovereignty, a lot of it sounds so good to be true that it's hard to believe,
Well, Joe, what I'd like to ask is, where in the hell are the men in this country? Why is it that I, a single mother and a widow, why is it that I have to be out doing this work?
Right.
Why is it that the women are having to go out and do this work? Where are men? How come they're not out doing it?
Because they're texting on their cell phones right now.
Why don't they get off their butts and
they're tweeting.
Do something?
They're tweeting.
Why aren't they fighting for the women and children in this country? Why do I have to do that?
Because you don't have a TV set.
Oh, I forgot.
That's right. So you don't understand. The problem is the men have been feminized, and I hate to say that in such a way that, but it's true. They're a bunch of freaking pansies now. It's the way it is. And what do you want? That's the truth, Gwen. They're a bunch of